I'm gonna do something a little different this time. I've been thinking of video ideas, and the last one I made of a webtoon slash manhwa remind me of this small manhwa I read a while back called Bones. When I first read it, it was super interesting for about a day or two before I really started to think about it and realized that the story is actually pretty terrible. And I was only interested because of the dark and twisted shock factor in the beginning and like the first few chapters, which were the only few chapters that were out at the time. When you start to read more of the story, it starts to get kind of terrible. Apparently it only ran for 30 chapters, so I'm gonna explain the first part, then I'll read the rest of the story and see if it got any good. But thanks to the internet, I already know it isn't, so I can't wait to see how shitty it got because it was already dumb to begin with. The story revolves around our MC, who I'm just gonna call the loser. So we are in our usual world of hunters with powers and dungeons, yada yada yada, and the loser has the lame ability of regeneration. The catch here is the MC wallows in pain whenever his regeneration kicks in. Since the sadistic pricks we call bullies in this world know this, they literally blast him with diamond and beat the shit out of him on a daily basis. He never goes to the police or anyone because his wounds heal and apparently S ranks get special treatment. He puts up with it so he can get a job and help support his mom. Then these bullies are one day being waited on by her, and now this bully escalates to murder and spears the crap out of his mom, putting her in a coma. Which, do you see this panel? How the fuck are you surviving this? Anyway, filled with rage, the loser here goes after the bullies just for him to get the shit beat out of him again. And impaled. Like a lot. Filled with rage, he still goes after the bullies, so they bury him alive in a diamond casket. Now that he's buried alive, he dies from lack of air, but his regen ability keeps him alive, keeping him in a constant state of immense pain. And as he rages inside the coffin, he repeatedly hits the diamond. 5 years later, he breaks out. The repeated hitting caused his bones to heal and callus over, creating a bone exoskeleton over most of his body. Now, for me to rage. How the fuck? 5 years isn't even that long. Then, okay, his bones callus over, which makes sense of he's repeatedly smashing the diamond with his fist. But how is half of his face callousing over? Suspend disbelief. He still, like, say he's headbutting it, right? His ribs? He's hitting the diamond with his ribs? How does he grow a horn? Is he carefully rubbing his neck over jagged edges inside the coffin? Even if I continue to suspend disbelief, the part I hate the most is the stupid spear growing out of his arm. How did his body callus over and grow weapons, and instead of jagged edge bone knuckles or something, a fucking spear? Anyway, our loser gets out and tracks down the bullies and straight up kills them on live TV with no explanation to the people watching. Everyone just believes a monster got out, and our loser is somehow stronger than S ranks all of a sudden. This dude only had a few inches to move for all that time, and he's yeeting S ranks across the room. Afterwards, some woman hires him for some work, and our loser stops some guys from getting it on with a woman without her consent, just for him to kill her too. The healer lady says hunters are too strong and there's too many, so they are just starting war with each other, so he wants him to be the monster. He starts fighting S ranks like it's nothing. Last I checked, regeneration has nothing to do with combat ability. He gets his ass kicked just for him to keep regenerating. Then goes up against a triple S rank hunter prime minister of Japan and gets melted down, like completely melted down, fucking cooked in magma repeatedly, and somehow still survives it. I don't even fucking know how. But now I'm gonna finish the rest of this and see if it gets any better, but it probably won't. I just finished 30 chapters and whoa. That was the biggest piece of crap I have ever read. I can't tell if more are gonna come out, and honestly, I don't care. First off, let me start with they change everything, okay? The MC doesn't just regenerate, now his power is actually exoskeleton manifestation. And this wasn't like a realization he came to. They have panels showing when he first started school and everything where he says that his power was originally exoskeletal manifestation. Then he wasn't in just a diamond coffin. Apparently he was actually in a blood gate that feeds him monstrous mana that causes him to monsterfy. Then the rest of the story is asked because he just starts fighting, and actually fighting is too generous of a word to use. He basically starts slap fighting the other Triple S ranks and crying the whole damn time. Every fight was literally just him getting his ass kicked and barely surviving, because I guess he's still immortal and still winning somehow. Every single fight is just him sitting on the ground and crying for his mom. I wish I was making this up. Every single battle, he is just on the ground, repeatedly getting his head kicked in and crying for his mom. Every fight. Believe it or not, the rest of the story doesn't just follow him. It follows the bully kid who gets resurrected and starts killing others and absorbing their mana to kill Bones, accompanied by a female friend of his that helped to limit his powers because now he's apparently always had more than diamond powers. He goes around collecting powers. Bones' mom gets resurrected just to be scared of the monster he has become. Then the bully actually kills her by ripping him in half in front of Bones after his mom goes ahead and accepts him for being a monster because he did all of it for her. I think they tried to make us feel bad for the bully by giving him a sad backstory, but like it doesn't work because he's still psycho who kills his partner by complete accident. As if this story couldn't get any more stupid. I shit you not, this bully gains so much power and mana. He gains the power to turn back time. But apparently he can't control it to bring his friend back. Again, he can't control turning back time in order to bring his friend back, but somehow he fights Bones thousands of times and repeatedly dies, learns the power of friendship. I shit you not, he learns the power of friendship, goes back in time to before he killed most of the hunters, teams up to fight Bones, and it still gets worse. After still not being able to kill Bones because he's alive, because literally plot, and I mean I shit you not, they say he just can't die. That's the explanation, he just can't die. The healer saw something in the future, saw a vision, and said that he's going to cause the world to be destroyed, and nothing can stop him, and he will not die. After thousands of deaths out of nowhere, the bully's mom comes out of nowhere. I can't stress this enough. She comes out of nowhere. The bully's mom. Only in this time loop, out of all the ones that he has just died thousands of times in, to just jump in front of him and die. To be killed by Bones. This makes the bully feel bad and apologize for killing Bones' mom. And dies willingly. If that wasn't bad enough, now he can't die because the layers of mana plus the time travel keeps him in a constant time loop to die by Bones over and over. He says he'll bring back his mom. He can't actually control his time travel, so he just is stuck in this constant death loop. Now, for the finale of this steaming pile of shit. The healer woman who talked Bones into being a monster and healed his mom unveils her master plan, her "it was me Barry" moment. She orchestrated everything from his dad being hit by a car when he was a kid and the bully being a psycho, because she is the daughter of the administrator of hell, cursed with immortality and the loneliness that comes from it. She orchestrated everything so Bones would destroy the world and she could kill the administrator and herself and end her loneliness. Then Bones gets up, goes after her, and becomes the new administrator. I'm at a loss for words, dude. I don't think I could think of a worse story if I tried. None of the characters were likable. The bully that I thought was dead ends up being like... he ends up having more screen time than the main character. The powers made no sense because they starts off with regeneration, then it turns into exoskeletal manifestation, but then he still has regeneration, but then he gets powers and mana from hell and turns into like a flying like bone-covered demon, I guess? And then The bully who just originally had diamond powers, which is honestly a kind of a cool power to begin with, he just gets a million more powers and then eventually has time travel and is still the loser. How is every triple S rank hunter a psychotic killer in this? Literally, all of them made the bully look like a saint. One of them was literally told by their father as a kid to one day surpass them, so he cuts off his head with a kitchen knife, and then he is surprised he's dead. I'm gonna try something out, and I call it the trash index. A way for me to rate shit like this, and so far this one gets the peak trash tier. A cosmic explosion of trash you couldn't possibly bury in the deepest corners of hell. And I did not know this could be so hilariously bad. I'm actually impressed at how terrible it was. Subscribe, I guess. See ya.